Ladies and gentlemen, we are here again with another episode of Sean's Silly Podcast. It has been a while since I've recorded one of these by myself. It's August 25th as of recording this, and yes, we are still in a pandemic, I guess. I don't know. I've yet to meet anybody that has the disease or know anybody that knows anybody that has died from it, but, you know, according to the good-hearted, well-meaning government-controlling officials, we need to stay indoors. So, I'm back in my room. I am recording a podcast, letting you people know that everything is all right. Everything is fine. No one's lying to us. Whatever state you live in, your governor just wants what's best for you. That's all they want. Every government official that has taken oath, they have to have your personal, individual best interests at heart, or else they can't have the job. I mean, we all know this. This is first grade stuff. Anyways, glad to be back. Glad to be talking into a microphone, Stand-up's been, pretty slow the last 6 months. I've been able to do, handful of gigs, some open mics. Luckily I live in Oregon, or as I like to call it, New California, and there's been some good open mics here at least. Shit's kind of been opening up slowly. No one's dying. There's no bodies in the street, so it's been a weird year. It's been really on and off. I did a show last week, which was, you do it at a fucking bar, and you go in, people ask you, where's your mask at? I gotta tell them I don't believe in that shit, and then I gotta, the weird thing is when, the gigs I'm doing now, they all say that they're like mask mandatory, and you have to wear a mask, and everybody there's gotta wear a mask, and you gotta, wash your toes or whatever. But then I go up on stage and I got like 10 minutes on why wearing masks are, acquiescent bullshit and how they don't really save lives. And it's just, everything is so ironic or hypocritical, or, I don't even know what the right word is. Everything is just so upside down, It's just, it's weird that they, I couldn't imagine owning a business and then paying a comedian to be like, yeah, hey, come talk shit about these government mandates, but also obey them as you're doing it. It's kind of backwards in my mind, but a lot of things are, and that's okay, because we're still living, baby. We're still breathing. We're on the planet. We're eating food. We're shitting in toilets. We're still alive, fortunately. If you're listening to this, you're still alive. Just keep that in mind. But I don't know. I wanted to, look at some news stories, some shit that's going on, but everything is so, what's the word? Depressing? I think that's the word. Someone else got shot today. I don't remember his name, but, it's all over the internet. Someone was shot by police, and that is unacceptable, apparently. You are not allowed to shoot people in the body if you're a police officer. What does this say? Protesters clashed with police in Wisconsin. All right, Wisconsin, settle down. After the police shooting of Jacob Blake. I don't know who Jacob Blake is. This is the first time I'm looking at this, and it smells a little bullshitty already. So, I don't know what people are doing in Wisconsin. They're setting their cheese heads on fire. What are they doing? They're still upset Brett Favre retired. Maybe Brett Favre came out of retirement. Is that why they're burning down the city? Who knows what's going on? Who knows? Everybody wants change in America, Everybody wants to change the system, apparently, on the surface at least. At least this is just what people say. This is what I hear, okay? I hear people want to change the country. They want to defund the police, or they want to, abolish fucking ice cubes, or I don't know what's going on today. But what people do not realize, especially in this country, in the great old US of A, is if people wanted like real change, like real systematic uprooting and like a whole new way of life on this planet, let's go beyond the country, this planet. If we really wanted to change things, you people would stop protesting. That would be number one, and stop voting. That would be number two. Stop voting for these bureaucratic idiots that are just bought and paid for by corporations or banks to do the bidding of Goldman Sachs or whatever, military corporation is going to get the most taxpayer money. You got to stop voting for these puppets and stop paying taxes. It's just those two things. If people stop voting and stop paying taxes, there would be a radical change in this country where the people would actually have power again, which they haven't in, fucking decades. How long has it been? When was the last time there was like a people's movement in this country? I mean, not in my lifetime, for sure. I mean, fuck, dude. Go back till early 1900s. Who knows? Who really knows? I wasn't alive then. Everything's fake. History isn't real. Who knows? So, when I see people upset that the police shoot people, it's like, yeah, that's upsetting, Getting shot by the police is, it's an upsetting thing to have had happen. Now, I don't know. If you really want to defund the police, why don't you defund the Federal Reserve that prints all the money that all of these giant world-controlling governments are able to use their police state? I mean, the police are the... What is it? They're like the arm of the government. They are the law enforcement. So government comes up with the laws, and then the cops enforce the laws. And they enforce said laws by shooting people. So if you're upset at the people shooting people, why aren't you upset at the people making the laws where it is okay to shoot people? I mean, how many times in this country does someone get shot and murdered wait, that's not a word. How often is someone murdered in a non-justified way, and then those police officers get paid leave or like a suspension, and they get to go take a little vacation to Mexico and Judge Brown people down there, and then they come back here, and then they get their jobs back, and then they go to a different district, or they go to Baltimore and shoot 18 more people, and no one hears about that. So I just feel as if people's priorities are backwards. Now, Jacob Blake, I don't know who this guy is. I'm looking at it right now. God bless his soul. Whoever he was probably didn't deserve to die. I don't know. Jacob Blake's father says son paralyzed from waist down after police... Oh, so he's not dead. Is he dead? That was from 9 hours ago. But see, this shit, NBC News, it's like... You guys are fucking frauds. What am I supposed to do? Believe what you say? No. That's silliness. There's just a lot of pictures of fire. If you go on Twitter and you look up the Jacob Blake, you just see a lot of fire. So, it's like anything else. You got to sit back, wait a couple days, couple weeks, couple years, couple decades, and then the truth comes to light eventually. It's just like the 9/11 thing, If you ever took the time to look into what happened on September 11th, it'd probably blow your mind. It's not the official narrative that our government told us. That definitely did not happen because it's impossible. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes in the official narrative, and it's hard for someone like me to live in this country when you see all of the holes, and they look very blatant, and they look very suspicious, to put it mildly, and then there's just hundreds of millions of people around you who don't see the same thing, and they blindly accept the official narrative, and they take it as if it is the word of God. And that's where the problem lies. Listen, I don't care if the U.S. government shot a drone into the Twin Towers. Okay, I don't care about that. I don't care if the U.S. Air Force and NORAD and the Mossad. You know, I don't care if they're working together and they're flying drones into buildings because they want to build some sort of religious temple in Israel. I don't give a shit about that. My problem is when I have to live in a community with other people who think that that isn't happening. That's where I start to feel uncomfortable, because you just can't live in separate realities. And that's what so much of this division is, especially in this country at this time, is everybody's got to get divided into their own bubble, and everybody's got their own beliefs about reality. You know, no one lives in an objective, agreed upon environment. You know, we all have our, Trump's evil, or Trump's great, or Joe Biden's going to save us, or Joe Biden's raping children. It's like everybody's in these different bubbles, and no one really knows what's going on, and we forget that we have to live with each other. Like we got to buy food. We got to, you got to drop your kids off. Someone's got to watch your kids. We have to live in an ecosystem, but we have to agree on what that ecosystem is. And now I don't like talking about politics, because I don't talk about politics for the same reason I don't talk about like Broadway shows, because it's all theater. Like it's not real. I mean, you could talk about politics the same way you would talk about, like Cats or Hamilton, because they got the same producers probably, But I don't know. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in, the left wing and the right wing and they really are wings of a same demon that's coming to your house to eat your soul. So, I don't really participate in that style of thinking. It's all theater. It's grand theater. It's silliness, and people buy into it, dude. It really is like when I grew up, I had a couple friends that I knew. I won't call them friends. I'll call them acquaintances. And they would watch WWE wrestling. They would watch grown men using, drugs to increase their muscle size, throw their bodies around at each other, and, pretend to hurt each other, sometimes hurt each other. I don't, it's hard to tell what's real or not you can definitely tell what's fake in wrestling, but they believed it, though. Like, they knew the different wrestlers' names. They had, like, their backstories, where they were from. They knew all this shit. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Wrestling? They're not even wrestling, They're, like, hitting each other with chairs and shit. They're jumping off of school buses and headbutting people. It's like, this isn't a sport. It's nonsense. And it's just a way of distracting your attention into something that's not real. And that's the exact same way I feel about politics. I see people look at politics the same way they look at WWE. I mean, we got those conventions going on now. They got the Democratic convention where you got I didn't watch any of it, so I don't know. I saw Bill Clinton gave a speech there, though, which is like, it's cool. A lot of rape allegations, but still, I'm glad he can speak in today's cancel culture. That burp really threw off my train of thought. Fucking mind fart out of my mouth. Mentally shit my pants. But yeah, conventions, it's just like, you don't waste your time, okay? If you're watching it right now, don't waste your time. Unless that's what you're into. If you're into wasting time, then go ahead. Waste your life away, die, and then you'll see what happens after that. You'll realize it was time wasted. But anyways, we're getting off topic. Not like I had any topics I wanted to talk about anyways, but, this podcast is just pure stream of consciousness. This is just a silly, off the top of my head, talking shit into a mic. I bought microphones so I could do this. And I'm doing it. And you're listening to it. So who's the real loser here at the end of the day? Probably both of us. I don't know, man. I really, truly, I don't have a lot of beliefs. I try to keep my mind open to whatever whatever I feel to be true. But I don't have beliefs in the sense of like, I just don't believe in shit. I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in wrestling. I don't, because they're all getting paid. That's the thing. Like, whether you think like Trump and Pelosi, they hate each other or whatever, they're cashing their checks at the same bank. Like, they're all going to Goldman Sachs and, giving each other foot massages in the lobby. Like, that's the reality that's happening. So, I mean, what are we going to do? Like, what are we realistically going to do to stop that from happening? And the only thing that I've come up with as a solution to these problems is stop paying taxes and stop fucking voting. Don't vote for someone you've never met. Local elections are completely different because that's your ecosystem. That's your environment you live in. Participate in those if you want to. If you know someone, if you think they actually, are going to do something that's beneficial to a lot of people, yeah, fuck it, man. Go ahead. Do it. Be grateful you can. A lot of countries you can't even do that. But here, man, voting for the president is just such a joke. It is a scam. Especially this year, man. They're going to do it on, what are they going to do? You're going to have to mail it in? Yeah, like that fucking works. You're going to write it down on a Post-it note and send it to Washington, D.C. Is that what's going to happen? And they're going to count it? Yeah, no one's going to count wrong. No one's going to stuff a couple ballot boxes full of Joe Biden's creepy name. And either way, what's the solution? You think 4 more years of the orange dude's gonna, that's gonna solve things? Or you want to get the senile grandpa in who likes molesting his granddaughter? I mean, who do you want in there? Who do you want with their hand on the button? And at this point, I mean, it doesn't even matter if there is a button. We're gonna kill ourselves. It's like I remember when Trump first got elected, they're like, he's got the keys to the nukes, and he's gonna wake up one day and just nuke us all. Gonna nuke us all. It's like, dude, you're eating McDonald's, drinking herba mates. Like, you're killing yourself way more effectively than any sitting president could do. So, it is your life. Live it how you want to. Live it how you want to. Other thing that I do want to get across, don't wear a mask unless you're like coughing something serious. Like, don't wear you don't have to wear a mask into a store if you're not sick. And I feel like if people need to be reminded of that. Like, if you are not sick, wearing a mask doesn't do anything. And I don't understand, because, there's a mandate in Oregon now where to go into a restaurant or a store or whatever, you got to wear a mask to go in. And it's nonsense. And some people do it because they want to be polite and they think it's the right thing to do. We got to help the businesses because the businesses are being threatened by the government, mafia style, to, they're going to shut them down, or you're going to have to pay these fines if you don't enforce a mask mandate. But it's all bullshit and nonsense. I have not worn a mask this entire pandemic. Not one time. I've been kicked out of like 2 places, but that's a small percentage compared to this mandate. Everybody's so scared. Everybody believes that they have to wear one to go inside of a store, and you really don't. You really don't. The power is in the individual. It's in the consumer. Like, these businesses, they've asked me to leave a couple times because I'm like, no, I don't have a mask. I don't want to wear one. And they're like, well, you can't be in here. And it's like, okay, well then you're not getting my money. You know what the point of having a business is? You own a store, so people come in and give you money for the stuff you have in your store. But if you're not going to let people come in, then you're not going to get money. So I'm going to go somewhere else and get the thing that I need. I don't need you telling me I have to have a mask. And if more people, had a spine, maybe like a backbone, maybe if someone had like principles in this country, I know, rare thing, but maybe if people started having principles and started thinking for themselves and going, I'm not sick today. Maybe I don't need to wear a mask to go into fucking Petco and get some greenies for my dog because he's been eating rotten apples in my backyard and I just need his breath to feel fresher. And I don't need to wear a mask to go get those. I don't. And I don't need a governor or a president or some bureaucrat telling me what I need to do because that's retarded. It really is. You don't know how many times I was at Walgreens the other day and I saw these two not old, it was like a mother-daughter, both really obese, and they're walking to the front door, they read the sign, and then they pull masks out of their little, knapsack or, wherever, and they put the mask on and go inside. And it's like, what are you doing? Do you not feel shame? Do you not feel like an utter loser putting on a mask because a piece of paper said, the governor told us that we got to tell you? It's just this giant game of telephone, and people are all complicit. They're like, what the piece of paper said? What else am I supposed to do? Think for myself? It's aggravating because those people are everywhere. They're everywhere. And you know what's not everywhere? Dead bodies. You know what's not everywhere? People dying of COVID-19. Isn't that funny? There's no dead people. There's no dead people. And the people that are dying, it's been proven time and time again that they had other underlying health symptoms. They had some other shit going on, and then the hospitals are getting paid thousands of dollars on top of that to report on death certificates COVID-19, even when it's not justified. Beautiful, huh? It's miraculous. These people, they don't know how to walk and chew gum. I mean, I remember a few years ago, how often were people talking about how corrupted the medical system was, how corrupted the pharmaceutical companies are. They have to be, change. We need revolution. All these fucking idiots talk about revolution, and they don't want it. That's the thing about Americans. We don't want revolution. We are so comfortable. We got the AC on. We got sugar in our systems. We got Amazon Prime. We're not people anymore. And the problem with that is when you don't live in an ecosystem and when you don't live in harmony with, the planet that we're on, the planet will get rid of us. And it's not going to take much. We are not going to destroy the earth, okay? We're just not. Human beings aren't going to destroy it. We're not going to. But the planet Earth very easily can get rid of us, and probably will. And you know what? We deserve it. You know why? Because you put on masks when you walk into Walgreens when you're not sick. That's why. But, God love them. Everybody has their path. Everybody's on their own journey through life. Not everybody is, not everybody has the same, they're not presented with the same amount of information. But that's where, choice comes in. If you choose to have Fox News or CNN on your TV 24/7, your subconscious is just going to absorb all of that corporate-owned nonsense, and it's just going to feed your subconscious and the collective conscious with utter bullshit and nonsense and fear. Above all, it's just fear. And people that are scared of corona, they have no reason to be. You have no reason to be scared of this disease, a disease that has existed for thousands of years. And when our immune systems, if you take care of yourself, our immune systems should be at the highest. Like the most efficient an immune system can be in human evolution is right now. There's no other time where the immune systems are stronger. So for people to be as fearful as they are, it doesn't make sense to me, unless you've been throwing back Wendy's and Big Macs every 45 minutes your entire life, which, to be honest, 80% of America has been doing, then I don't know what you're scared of. And then a mask isn't going to stop you from getting diabetes and heart disease, you fat fucks. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you people? I swear to God, I was in Portland a couple weeks ago. I was helping my cousin move, and I was moving from his old apartment, waiting for them to get the U-Haul, and I'm sitting up on the third story balcony, just looking out, pondering life, and I see these 4. It must have been a family of 4, all had masks on, walking outside, carrying bags of McDonald's. Can you guys even process how absurd that is? How insane that is for people to wear masks outside, and then you have McDonald's? Like, why are you wearing a mask? Do these people think they're making health conscious decisions? Like, and I don't know what they're thinking. I can only judge from a far distance, which I like doing. But do they think they're saving lives? Do they really think that? Like, deep down, do they believe that to be true? They're saving other people. You know what they're doing? They're fattening the curve. That's exactly what they're doing. Fucking getting these McDonald's, dipping them in McNugget sauce. It's like, dude, it's depressing. I don't think fat people should be allowed to wear masks. I'm going to go out right now and say that. I don't. Fat people should not be allowed to wear masks. They should. Like, if you're going to enforce healthy people to wear masks when they're not sick, then there needs to be some law in place where, like, fat people can't wear them, you know? Like, why? Well, you take care of yourself first before you start even... And no one even understands virology, you know? No one understands how viruses are spread. Viruses come from within. It's your own body's reaction to anything. Really, I mean... This is another thing about COVID that really blows my mind and that people aren't able to look at intellectually or with just an open mind, really. Which is, if you have to wear a mask, the point of the mask is to stop the spread of spitting, right? You know, because everybody spits on each other, apparently. But it's supposed to stop the spread of water or, saliva molecules, and the COVID lives in there, and it gets out, and it gets on things, and you keep a mask on because it keeps it concealed. But when they're testing for COVID-19, which, first of all, they haven't even extracted they haven't isolated COVID-19, so they don't even know what they're testing for, first of all. But anyways, that's beside the point. But when they do test, they stick a rod into your nose or in your mouth, and they have to go all the way back to your throat. Why? If corona's so easily getting passed around through the mouth that you have to wear a mask, why are you testing way back inside your head? Why don't you just have someone stand there, talk for a minute, and then sample the air? Why are we wearing masks? Why are you testing that way? It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. And then I saw something yesterday that the tests, they call PCR tests or whatever, they're just testing genetic material. Like, they're testing DNA strands that everybody has, you know? So if everybody has the thing that they're testing for, of course you're going to get all these positive tests. No deaths, no actual sick people, just cases. And if you watch mainstream news, that's all they talk about. Hundreds of thousands of new cases. Oh, no. No substance, nothing to back it up. It's just cases. Gives a fuck about a case, man. If we had any freedom or any real sovereignty in this country, everything would be left up to the individual or the business. If a business wants to shut down, because they're worried about people getting sick, go ahead, shut down. Your choice. Do whatever you want. Your business, your choice. I just have a problem when, centralized powers come into the ecosystem and they start telling people what they have to do and how they have to live their life and how you should be in fear of this thing that nobody can see and really isn't affecting anybody. And, it's fucking nonsense. And if you say anything about it, you get blacklisted on the internet, and it's a conspiracy, which is, a term created by the CIA, but no one wants to look into that. Life is good, though. That's the point of this podcast. We're just living it, baby. We're just living life to its fullest. People are out there protesting, God knows what. What are people upset about? Upset about cops killing people? Right on. Right on. Will you be upset when they start shipping people off into camps? Of course not. Of course not. You know why? Because CNN told us not to. That's why. Think CNN ever lies to us? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, what are we gonna do with this world, man? What are we gonna do? And then in the midst of all of this, while all of this is going on, I'm going up on stage trying to tell knock jokes. This is the crazy one. I don't know. I'm gonna have some new guests though coming on this week. I'm gonna bring this podcast back. I think because I need money, because all the shows are kind of drying up. I'm gonna start a Patreon and see if any lovely viewers like yourself would like to join my Patreon, subscribe to it. I'm going to probably finish it this week, and then I'm going to start uploading these podcasts, or broadcasts as I like to call them, because everybody's a podcaster now. Fuck podcasts. I'm doing broadcasts, baby. I'm taking this back to the Rush Limbaugh days. Back when radio was good, My dad used to pick me up from school, and he'd have Rush Limbaugh playing in his truck, talking about, how Obama was, born in some other country. Just pure nonsense, but this shit was so funny. But yeah, I'm gonna bring some guests back on. We're gonna have Sean Silly podcast back in full effect. I got some sketches coming up. I got my good friend Dustin Wood rolling into town. So we got some content coming. It's not all serious. Life isn't. There's a time and place for serious conversation. And there's a time to laugh. And there's a time to burp. And there's a time to burn down federal buildings. And I don't know what time it is. I don't know. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. This is a good little welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys listened to the soothing sounds of my voice. Listen, I'm not right about everything. I don't think I have all the answers. I don't think I'm correct, really, when it comes to everything. I feel it to be true, and I stick with that, I try to close off my mind. Not close off my mind. I try to open my mind and open my heart to the reality, because reality is just fucking strange, dude. No one really knows what's going on. No one knows why we're here. No one knows what happens when we die. No one has any answers. So to pretend like you're a shuckster and you're full of shit, and you're going to get exposed. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about exposing people. But yeah, man, fuck, dude. I'm just sitting here in a garage. You're going to listen to me? I'm just giving you my point of view, which seems to be lacking. An honest point of view seems to be lacking in today's dialogue. So if you got to come to me for that, then shows you what state the world is in right now. So God bless you all. Subscribe to the Patreon. I'm going to put it in somewhere on here. Thank you guys for checking this out. God bless America. Not really. They're fucking run by corrupt idiots. But I love you guys all deeply and passionately and softly. Have a wonderful day.